Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Pro Division with the Tournament Wind here for the Fall Major Tournament in Golf Clash the game. Video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic. Make sure that you do hit the thumbs up button, also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. You can get the ultimate tournament guides for Pro Division or Expert or Master by going to Patreon. Link to Patreon and our guides is directly in the description down below. Follow the info box on the right hand side to get the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also what ball and club type I suggest you to play with. Have in mind that those are all suggestions and you don't have to follow it if you don't want to, but there is always a plan behind it. So let's go to hole number 1. Hole number 1 is tougher than what it looks, and I have the pleasure to lend Ben Kennedy's shot here for hole number 1. Please go and subscribe to his channel for more absolute brilliant content. So, no movement, don't touch the target until it's time to adjust the reins. 6 top spin and 3 right spin. If you do only have 4.5 bar top spin, use 4.5 bar top spin. We obviously want to get the ball as far down possible. Adjust is max plus a 10, and here you can see that we do have a strong 12-1 on that pull, which means that if it would be a straight pull, you will not adjust from max overpower, so therefore there will not be a push-up in generally at least, but obviously if you are not in max distance, push up to max. Max plus 10 adjustment when it comes to 6 bars of top spin drives. Then you go with 4 rings of overpower. Otherwise, if you have less than that, then you go with full overpower on that drive. Second shot, we're gonna play here with a fringe check. So you can see here now that we do have a +7 fringe check to work with. And from +7, we're gonna play 70% slider, 5% elevation, power 3 ball numbers. But the important part here now is to actually try to find a spot where we can play into this glitch on green. Meaning that we do set spin, but we might have to wiggle around to try to find a consistent landing spot. And that's the tough part on this shot in all the divisions, to find a consistent first bounce spot, so we don't end up having that glitch roll over the green. We won't go into the rough if we do get the glitch, but we will not get the ball to drop. And obviously when it is a par 4, we somewhat want to get a good chance for a drop here on hole 1. Ball comes lovely in right at pin for a beautiful eagle here to start with on hole number 1. Hole number 2, and we're gonna play with a club that we don't normally play with, which is the Horizon. And this shot can be played with Horizon level 3 or better, so even with lower level Horizon, so don't steer yourself blind with Horizon level 7. We're gonna talk about the different landing positions in a bit, but top of the yellow ring by the rough line is the goal. And then we're gonna use 5.5 bar top spin, no side spin, and look at the ball guideline. We are looking to catch the funnel that is at the top of the back of the green, or whatever we would like to call it. So 5.5 bar top spin, you can see we're inside the funnel like that. And the idea is to bounce into the rough, roll up the green and fall back down. Max plus 10 power 4 ball numbers. In the video I adjust max plus 10 power 3, but I would like us to have that one extra decimal based on the side that this shot is dropping at. Center the ball and hit perfect. This shot you don't have to play Kingmaker if you don't want to, but I see there is value reducing the wind here. Horizon level 6 and 7 starts at +8. When it comes to Horizon 3, 4, 5, it's gonna start at max. You see it rolls up the green into the funnel and back down for a lovely hole-in-one on hole number 2. So this is an absolute money shot, have that in mind, but it's only possible with Horizon level 3 or better. Hole number 3 is a super tough hole here, and we want to play with the Apocalypse here now. So I'm using 4.5 bar top spin and 2 left spin, and here it's all about finding the correct position. Here I'm starting at the +13 yard mark. However though, I do think we could start a little bit further back to give ourselves a little bit more room, especially for those of you playing with lower level Apocalypse. But to have that said, even Apocalypse level 1 will be okay here. So the thing with the Apocalypse here that makes the Apocalypse very valuable is the curl, because we do want to have all the curl we can to prevent us from rolling down into the rough on the right. Max no elevation on the drive, power 3 ball numbers is what we are using. And we're using a berserker ball as well to give ourselves the power on that ball as well, to prevent us from having to use overpower. Now, all the top spin you can to left spin. You can see that the ball guideline is pointing towards this little lump of rough that is pointing out into the fairway. Aim towards that one, adjust max plus 10, and then we go with full curl to the left. If you do adjust into overpower, use overpower, that the amount of overpower you adjust into. The ball will then roll down, and here we're not on green, which means that we're going to have to play a wedge from here. And this is not going to be easy, I'm not saying that, but it's going to be the best chance to secure the eagle in my opinion, as getting to green is going to be very, very difficult, and most likely will require some big boy clubs on the wood club side of it. So here I'm using EB School method, which is plus 20, so I'm measuring where the flag stands based on my full ball guideline or my full target range of my wedge. So then I apply the 20% elevation together with the slider, no spin here, and hitting perfect. But you can see here as well that we do have more or less a straight headwind, so some sort of a just eyeballing way of playing this wedge would also be okay, because again, you know, the straight headwind does help a lot for us to be off with a ring or two with our adjustment and still make it to drop. But in the end though, hole number 3, you will see loads of birdies on this hole, because it is a technical hole all the way from shot 1. For hole number 4, we're gonna start with a power 3 ball in absolute minimum distance. We do want to have a wind between 5 and 7 miles per hour here, so if there is a low wind with a kingmaker, I would strongly advise you to play with a katana instead. But always set up your shot with a power 3 ball to start with, because you do want to have the red ring by the rough line in complete minimum distance. And that also goes to that we do want to play with the grizzly as a long iron to make sure we find minimum distance line in the best possible way. 2.5 left spin and 0.3 backspin, max plus 15 power 5 ball settings. Unfortunately here in this video I do use an 1159, which pulls me a little bit more left than I want to, and therefore I do just miss on the right side of the cup. So in the end though, we do have a good chance on hole number 4, but I do believe that this is the toughest of the par 3s to drop. Hole number 5, we're gonna play safe. So we're gonna need to use backspin, which is 6 backspin, 2 right spin, starting with the blue ring by the rough line just before +1. Playing with a berserker ball to make sure that the second shot is gonna be as easy as possible. Adjustment is maximum distance with a 15% over adjustment. And then we shall apply 0.75 ball of curl to the right. Those of you that do not have quarterback level 9 or level 10 can play with the rocket instead. The rocket will have the backspin even level 9 or better. Have in mind that the range position will not be the same with the rocket, but try to mirror the ball guideline and you shall be fine. We do have a lot of room for error here. Second shot, we play with the guardian. Play with whatever guardian level you have. Max backspin. Aim with the ball guideline pointing towards the right side of the hole, or like towards the hole. Adjustment in the video is max plus 10 power 5. I would like us to play max plus 20 power 5. And here comes the little tricky part, because we're going to use overpower, but how to know how much overpower to use? Then the drive yardage is coming in play. If we do have a drive yardage that is 255 to 260, then we shall be using 3 rings of overpower to get the ball up there on the green. And obviously you can use more if you like, you have a lot of room, so it's better to go with more than less if you feel uncomfortable with how to measuring the rings of overpower. Hole number 6, and we're gonna start a complete max distance with the blue ring by the rough line with the rock level 7, 8, and 9. And we're gonna play 3.9 top spin and 2 right spin. Adjustment is gonna be max plus 15 power 3 ball settings. We push up to max, and when it comes to the rock level 8 and 9, we go with 1 ring of overpower. With the rock level 7, we play with 2.5 ring of overpower instead. The reason we do have the difference of overpower is due to the fact that the rock 7 has less yardage than, less power than what the rock level 8 and 9 has. We're looking to get the ball down to 380 to 390 yards if we can choose, and that's gonna leave us with a fringe check, which is the fringe part that is meeting the green. 2 right spin always, and we're gonna have top spin to get the ball guideline to go through the hole, approximately 1 green square with Goliath 8 and 9. With Goliath 7 and 6, we have the ball guideline to the hole. Very important that you do know those difference, because otherwise you will come in with different speed, and that could potentially mess up the shot. And the reason we play with Goliath is to make sure that if we do fall short on drive, which is unfortunately a possibility due to, you know, if we're getting dead bounces and such, then with a Grizzly we may be in trouble being in between clubs, where the Goliath has that extra yardage. So for safety, we do play with the Goliath as a club. No elevation, and based on a +0 fringe check, because we were below +1, we should be playing that one 65% slider. Unfortunately, I played that one decimal too much, and that's unfortunately because I do overpull. So the numbers are correct, it's just me that didn't execute it properly. Hole 6 offers us a good chance for an eagle. For hole number 7, we want to start with a power 3 ball in absolute minimum distance here. That's the same as we do on hole number 4. Pack the Grizzly to easily find min line. 3.5 bars of backspin and 3 left spin. Blue ring by the Sandtrap line is where we're gonna end up with in the end. Adjustment is gonna be minimum distance with a 20% over adjustment power 3 ball settings. And here you can, if you would like, you can change the katana after you have found your position, and then you can do a ball swap from a Kingmaker to a katana, but always start with a power 3 ball to make sure that you find minimum distance line in the way that we would like. Perfect ball, and you will see this ball may come in a smidge too hot, but at the same time it's not too hot that we would miss this one. Right at pin though for a beautiful hole in one on a tough par 3, which is hole number 7. Hole 8 is a tough par 4, especially when we don't have any tailwind, which kind of forces us to play on the left hand side to not find ourselves in a tough time to actually just getting the birdie. So I'm playing with the driver that gives me the most power and topspin possible. I'm using 4.5 bar topspin, 3 right spin, and I'm aiming straight down the fairway on the left. You can see that the ball guideline before adding after adding spin is aiming towards the left side of the rough. So now we're getting down to 357, and here it is important. When it is a perfect drive, we can follow the yardage notes, meaning that in this case from 357 we should be playing 69% slider, 10% elevation. And the reason we're using yardage, even though we're not playing a linear way, is due to the fact that we don't really have any reference to follow here. So the second shot, 3 left spin and 3.2 top spin. Ball guideline should be going left of pin here. We should be going approximately 1.5 green square left of pin. Adjustment here in the video is not 69% slider. I'm playing in this case 60% slider, which is approximately 0.2 less than what I would like to do. Center the ball, hit perfect, And again, get the correct slider number and you will get yourself to be close. But have in mind that this is, in my opinion, the toughest of the par 4s to drop, because all that bumpy parts and the fact that we can't really push the drive hard enough what we do, we will still have a sniper regardless, is going to create problems in getting something extra to drop here on hole number 8. For hole number 9, we're gonna play with the rock level 7 or better. 3.8 topspin, 2 left spin, and I'm starting at complete max in whatever the rock level I have. So blue ring by rough line, adjustment is going to be max plus 10, power 3 ball settings. When it is the rock here, level 8 and level 9, we shall not do, we shall do a 3-yard push-up is what I'm trying to say. With rock level 7, we shall push up to max. Very important with those two parts. The thing here though, we're looking to get the ball up to a position where we can play with a grizzly for the second shot. And you can see here we do have the grizzly, and we're gonna do a fringe check, which is by where the fringe meets the fairway. Plus 8 is what we're having here, and using 2 right spin and whatever top spin amount that can, when we do have the red ring by the rough line, to get the ball guideline to be just short of hole. Plus 8 frame check equals 96% slider with a 5% over adjustment power 3 ball settings. Important now with the second shot when we go for this rough bump is to not have anything to do anything when it comes to a 1201. A 1201 here will pull you more up, and that will potentially risk that you miss the rough. So it's very important that you're thinking about your pull angle and that you're pulling straight. Perfect ball, and the ball will bounce into the rough, and it will give us a zoom out angle on the with the camera, and we'll get it right at pin for a beautiful albatross on hole number 9. And I do believe that hole number 9 is actually a very good shot. Sorry, not very good shot. Yeah, it is a good shot, but it's a very good chance to make something extra to drop on a tough qualifying round. Thank you so much everybody for watching this playthrough for Pro Division with the qualifying round win here for the Fall Major Tournament in Golf Clash the game. Video sponsored by Golf Clash and Playdemic, and make sure to get your guide packet for Pro Expert and or Master. Link is directly in the description down